to our next segment, moving forward. Chase Winder is joining us via Skype. Chase is a Republican nominee for Utah's State Senate for District 2, and also bringing us here on set is Duvalier Malone, a friend of Bold and author of Those Who Give a Damn, a manual for making a difference, in studio. You there, Chase?
Yeah, I'm here. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. Chase, in February of this year, the current Utah senator of District 2 announced he would not run for re-election. Is that what sparked your interest in running, or what brought you to where you are?
Yeah, I mean, it's actually just something that I've always had a passion for in my life. I actually grew up in a family, the Winder family, with a lot of us in public service, working as county council people, sheriff, representatives, mayors, judges, and so I just kind of grew up in a culture of wanting to give back and wanting to become someone that is serving and working towards others. I was actually reading a little bit of the excerpts of How to Give a Damn, the book, and I was quite impressed with your other guest about, really what kind of makes people tick and wanting to help others. And so this is something that I've always been passionate about. I've worked in education. I've co-founded an education nonprofit. I've worked with dropout students, helping to get them a second chance in life. And it's just something that I was very passionate about. And when the current senator resigned, and it's kind of a mad dash, I actually only had a couple weeks to make up my mind before the filing deadline.
Well, and Chase, you're a Republican, and the senator who's retiring, Jim DeBakis, he won. He's a Democrat, and he won with 74% of the vote. Is this a very blue district that you're running in?
It is. I would say it's more progressive.
So what's your strategy? How would you overcome that?
Yeah, so a couple different things. I mean, one, I'm born and raised in this area, so I've done all my education from elementary through my master's in the district. Two is that my family and those that they know are actually pretty well known. It's funny, but our family runs a home milk delivery and a farm company called Winder Farm. So
I know that because I used to eat your ice cream when I was a girl in Winder Dairy.
BYU.
Yeah, that's right. And actually, sidebar, are you guys gonna go to Canada with this new trade deal?
I don't have any idea of the milk strategy.
Well, no, this new trade deal apparently is opening the dairy market to Canada for American dairy producers. So that was the first thing when I saw you're coming on, Mr. Winder Dairy.
So, David, are you running as a Trump Republican?
It should be Winder Deliverer. So, but I don't want to go with too much puns there. But it's definitely an uphill battle in this district. But I'm really running to, be a fresh voice, be young. I'm 30. If I'm elected, I'd actually be the youngest elected state senator in Utah's history. And so I'm trying to bring energy. I'm trying to bring a really knowledgeable base about my city and my district. And I'm really running to give us a seat at the table. And I think that is really resonating with the voters, that they want representation and they want to be able to have someone that can really work on delivering solutions and making sure their voice is heard at the Capitol.
David, are you running as a Trump Republican? Are you bringing Trump to an offering of some milk?
You know what? No, I'm just running as myself. A lot of people ask me in this district, are you Republican? Are you Democrat? And I say yes. I'm not trying to run, for anything other than the people in this district, and to make sure that they're heard. I mean, this state in Utah, it's no secret, but it's very dominated by Republicans. And so I want to be working from within that system to represent what people care about. And it's really about the issues. I mean, they care about education. They care about air quality. They care about reducing our homeless population, reducing our opioid epidemic. And so for me, I'm just focused on the issues and not so much the national politics, because, that's kind of what's motivating me to run in the first place, is I want to make a difference and help those in the community.
Well, that's a perfect segue to bring in Duvalier, because your manual, as Chase mentioned, is called For Those Who Give a Damn, a manual for making a difference. And clearly Chase is seeking to do that in his district. What have you seen as you were writing that book? What's the winning strategy for people who have the desire to get them over the finish line?
just like what Chad says, making sure that you talk to the issues, and not just talk to the issues, but also go out there and find people who are also affected by those issues and make sure they're registered to vote. I found in my experience and being on the road the last year and a half that they're not looking at Democrat or Republican issues in this day and time, but they're more so looking at the issues that affect them today, whether that's education, whether that's economic development, whether that's job security. I know the job report just came out today, been one of the lowest since 1969, is it? But we also have to look at those rural communities. And I take for an example, rural communities in Mississippi and the Mississippi Delta, those people still need jobs. I think what we see is a lot of the educated community, we are thriving, but a lot of our rural communities are not thriving. So we have to make sure that they have representation as well. So just what Chad is doing, making sure that he's out there with the people and speaking to the people's issues is going to be very vital for any candidate in this day and time.
Well, and Utah has some very rural areas, but Chase, is your district, I mean, Utah generally is fairly rural, but your district is more urban, correct?
Yeah, that's right. But it's still very accessible. I mean, it's nothing like New York City and, some of the more high density urban areas. So we've still been out knocking doors, going to events, just, meeting folks where they are and understanding what's important to them. So yeah, I mean, we call it the I-15 corridor from about Ogden down to Provo is, very high density urban area. But yeah, a lot of Utah is very rural and, those communities and trying to bring, as Duvalier said, economic development and jobs and educational opportunities to those across the state is also equally important to representing them as well as those that are kind of in the heart of Salt Lake City, which is Senate District 2.